When you play the Game of Thrones, you
Subscribe and like.
or you die. There is no middle ground.
Alright, hello YouTube, welcome back to the Rescom YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Catelyn Stark, or Catelyn Tully, as most of us know her. And this is going to be an interesting idea, because we're going to be talking about Robb's will, but we're going to be talking about more specifically, was Robb right to name Jon his heir and or legitimize him? Right? Because by naming Jon a Stark, in his mind, he's basically making Jon the heir to the Kingdom of the North. Catelyn, obviously, is not a fan of this and quotes the Blackfyre Rebellion. So this video is going to be a discussion on who is right in this situation. But before we get into the video, for my 2,000 subscriber special, will be doing a live stream. We're about 100 subscribers away, so this still probably won't happen for a little while. But I'm going to be doing like a big Q&A. Also I'm going to be doing like an ancestry, like exploring my actual background, because I actually don't know. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask me, leave them down in the comments, and I'll just start making a list for that live stream. It can be anything. It can be in Song of Ice and Fire. It can be my personal life. It can be YouTube related. Can be anything you guys want. So yeah, if you guys have questions, leave those down in the comments, and I'll answer those in that live stream. I will let you know when that live stream will go up or whatever, when we're going to do it. But as of right now, we're a little too far out for me to actually have a day for that. But let's get into the video. So for me, this is an interesting idea, because Jon is a very trustworthy person and would never, like, say Robb wins the War of the Five Kings, but he's also legitimized. Jon would never, like, go behind Robb's back or try to take his throne, anything like that. And we know that Catelyn is motivated by her emotion. Catelyn is always motivated by emotion. Catelyn, outside, when she is in a very calm and not chaotic point, she's actually a reasonably smart character. I just got done reading her first chapter in Game of Thrones, where completely calm. There's nothing going on. It's in a high-stress situation. She's not stressed out. And she's making reasonable decisions with Ned and conclusions, like talking about the threat of the others and this and that, and things that Ned doesn't even believe in. But then when you put her in high-stress situations where Robb's talking about, you know, if he dies, Catelyn is clouded by her hate of Jon. But with that being said, she has a valid argument. What if Jon's children down the road don't like Robb's kids? Or what if Robb doesn't have kids? Jon's kids could maybe usurp Robb's throne, and we could see a Blackfyre situation all over again. And this is a valid concern, is that Robb is thinking very much for the short term right now, where Robb sees it as Bran and Rickon are dead, Sansa's with the Lannisters, Arya is probably dead. Who else is going to continue the line if he dies? So I think Robb thinks short term and is thinking, okay, with the information he has, this is the correct decision. And I want to put this from two different perspectives. The perspective of the audience and the perspective of Robb and being inside Robb's head. When you're in Robb's head, this decision makes perfect sense, because you don't want the Lannisters to take any control of the North through Sansa. And if that's not the case and you die, which is looking increasingly likely, who's going to take over the North? The Karstarks? Like, when you really put that into perspective and you understand where Robb's coming from, this decision makes perfect sense. But when you come at this decision from a reader's point of view, and you're sitting here going, well, Bran's alive, Rickon is alive, Arya's alive, everyone's alive for the Starks, really. They're just in bad situations for the most part. So then the problem becomes, okay, Catelyn is right. If it's almost like Catelyn has the script and knows like where the whole story's going, because in hindsight, Catelyn is probably right, because even in the normal story now, Jon is going to be legitimized by Robb's will, whether it's written or oral. He is going to find out that Robb legitimized him, and that is going to create problems for the Stark household, because You know, you're still going to have Bran alive. You're going to have Rickon alive. Who are the people of the North going to support? And that could create an entire kind of northern civil war, more or less, which it won't. I think what will end up happening is Rickon, for the time being, will be named like the heir to the North, but Jon will have governance of the realm until he comes of age. But the problem still comes of, okay, after this conflict, if Jon has kids, technically they would rival the northern kids of Bran or Rickon, probably not Bran, but Rickon, or Sansa, or probably not Arya, but they are both right. But in the situation, and given the knowledge that both Robb and Catelyn know, Robb is correct. So it's a very interesting dynamic, where as the reader, and with hindsight of what happens and who's alive and who's not alive, I think Catelyn's actually correct on that regard, but with the knowledge both of the two have, Robb is right. It's a very interesting dynamic. Let me know what you guys think about it. And the story, it very much more or less comes off as Catelyn just doesn't like Jon. That's really the basis of her argument. Yes, she cites the Blackfire rebellions and things that could possibly happen with future generations of Jon's kids or whatever. But this is really fueled by she doesn't like Jon. And Robb even says that. So I think Robb does make the right decision here based on the knowledge he has. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini video. I wanted to do a mini video because I thought it was a really interesting and intriguing idea that came to me. And all that. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.